Hello, my name is Anna and I'm with Will Stitch Chaotically. Not because I can't stitch, but because I stitch what I want when I want. Thank you for coming to my first Flosstube. I appreciate your time. Since I'm just introducing myself, I'm going to start off with a little bit of a WIP parade to show you what I've been working on. I have been stitching since I was 5. I remember my very first embroidery project. It was a little kitten, those iron-on deals. I've been kind of crafting ever since then. So, WIPs first. I've got piles. I'm going to clean this one over here of projects yet to be started. Yay me! So the first project we will start off with is it's called Pumpkin 3. It's by Maxie's Patterns, and this is what it will look like. Clear off of that. Now this is charted. I've got multiple of these. They are charted with a background. I'm doing it without a background because I've got a colored linen. Now this is being done on a Wichelt premium linen, 28 count, in the color Stony Point. And this is what I've gotten. This is probably about, it's a little more than 50% done, because it has to round the pumpkin out and come down to there. But this is my autumn happiness. The colors in this just make me so very happy. Okay. And I keep some of them, I do everything on a scroller bar. I keep some of them on the rods, and that's depending on the project. Either it's too big and I don't want like all these project folders, even though I do need more. But one of them is because I work on it every month and I'm not going to sew and stitch and sew and stitch these projects on and off these bars. That would make me not want to stitch. Okay, the next one is let me put this, my stained glass dragon. It's going to be easier to show you in Pattern Keeper. Clear. There we go. Clear off of that. Okay, now this one is my big one. It is 799 by 999. It's on a 28 count Monica Ubelhor even weed in the color of lamb's wool. That pumpkin I started in September of last year. This one I started in January of 2024. That is my progress on it so far. I'm going page by page across, parking as I go. This is 1/1 full cross. We'll put you there. Okay. My next one is in the beginning. I have a modest start on this because all of that yellow I'll show you. Ah, turn my phone off. Man, that's blowing out. Well, okay. You can see that's got up here, but up here is all yellows. A million yellows. So that is my somewhat modest start. I started this one mostly out of frustration last year because I started something for my birthday and found out my fabric was too narrow. So at least I was a little mad. So this one got started. Put it over here. Okay. The next one is Glory to God. This one I started for, I've got written down April, but it's actually March because I started it Holy Week last year. Excuse the cacophony, park threads. But that's how far I've gotten. I believe that's 2 pages. Sorry, I don't have my stats. They're all on my tablet, not on my phone. Actually, this one might be on my phone. It's not quite 2 pages. It's 20,136 out of 270,000. So it's like 7.5%. But that is Glory to God. Stitching this, I'm going to say it's goat skin. It was really fun and interesting to do. And that's done on a 25 count easy grid Lugana. Haven't been telling you who my patterns are from. The dragon is by SVG Creations. Found in the patterns by Sharova Creations. They're on Etsy. The pumpkin Maxie's pattern does have an Etsy shop. And those last two, the In the Beginning and Glory to God, are Heaven and Earth Designs. I don't know why. I was going to get this one out of the way. It's not next to my list, but I'm going to get it out of the way. This one is Signing the Constitution. This is the first one I started after I finished some of my other stuff. I started this in November of 2023. This was my first Heaven and Earth design, so I got this as a free download. It's still available, but I believe it's for purchase now. But it's Signing the Constitution. Artwork by Howard Chandler Christie. He painted the original painting that's hanging up in the halls of Congress, I believe in a stairwell. But anyway, it's a lot of dark. Let's see, that's it. It's a lot of dark colors. You know, the 939s and the 310s and the 838s. But you can see that we've got the first 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 heads. 6 individuals on there. This one's fun to do too. I'm doing this, working on this page by page, but obviously up and down, starting in the upper corner. 25 count, easy grid, Logano, 1/1, full cross? Yeah, full cross. Okay, that's it for the monsters that are threatening to knock things over. Okay. Next thing I have is my fall carousel by Teresa Wentzler. Try to get the glare there. First Teresa Wentzler I started. Now I've got obviously the leaflet, but I went and I downloaded the you can download her patterns off of Patterns Online. They're not badly priced, but I would have both of them because the leaflet is missing some information and the download is missing information. But the download's really nice when you're trying to kit up, because if you know Teresa Wentzler, you know lots of blends and trying to figure out the threads you need. Downloads make it easy because it gives you a list. I love this list. Makes it so much easier to pick out your DMCs. Now, I do bobbinate my floss most of the time. When it comes to the blends, the floss drops come in super handy because then you could just pull off one length and work from there. Now I'm going by page according to the download because the leaflet pages are huge and hard to handle, so paper is really good. That's how far I've got. This is the first page of the download. This obviously is the extent of the frame of that piece. This one was fun to do, even with all the blends and all the half stitches and back stitching. And I really like back stitching. That one was really fun to do. This one I started on, November of 2024 on a 32 count Zweigart Belfast linen in the color of cream. Okay. My next one is my current project. It is her spring carousel. And I've done the same thing, leaflet and download. Currently working on this one. This one I started on the spring equinox, so on the 20th. And I am just going, and I will work on this until this Saturday, and then I'll put it aside. I've gotten all the way here. The carousel pole starts right about here. It'll come down and then the horse head. That's going to be fun to do. I'm doing this as instructed, 2/2 full and half. Yeah, Teresa Wentzler. Back stitching as I go, otherwise I'll get lost. Now I've got this one on a white opalescent, I think this is 28 count. 28 count. Zweigart casual linen in a white iridescent. I think this can go away now. Okay, my next one is, I don't do a lot of samplers. I don't know. I just seem to enjoy the full coverage because I get lost easy. So a full coverage is kind of the way to keep me from getting lost. But this I found and I just thought it was absolutely beautiful. It is called Fleurs de Lin on Etsy. Website is Histories de Lin. Histories Histoires de Lin. This is, hopefully you can see it. Ignore the black, dark. I use up my paper bowl size. It's really, really light. And I'm doing these in her, found on her Etsy shop. Sophie is her name. Her flosses. The called for was the color Lin. And Nacre. And in flowers, she called for the color Fjord, but I'm using the color, oh wait a minute, this is Lin. Oh, I lost my card. That's why. Called for the color Fjord. I'm using the color Fugue. And this is being stitched on a 32 count. Don't remember who, don't remember where. Kind of feels like a linen. I have to look it up. Drop this down. That is what I've got. Almost complete 2 pages. This is a 4-page chart. Yeah, 4-page chart. But aren't those letters with those little flowers pretty? And I'm going to go through on these bigger flowers and put some really small beads in there. Just kind of dress it up a little bit. And this I'm not doing on a scroll frame. I'm doing this one in a hoop. Just so that I can get, since it's such a dark fabric, I can get everything angled with the light bouncing off of the piece of paper so I can see where the holes are. So I'm working on that. That one is a, started that June of last year, and I've been kind of doing just like a couple of letters a month if I've got the time to fill in. I was doing the monthly Quakers. I've got all those done, but I was just kind of filling in time and getting those done and working on that while I was waiting for the desire to work on another project to hit. Now I love lavender and lace. I've got a few. I would not count. I consider myself a collector. But I have started the quilt maker. because quilting is one of those things that I do. It's the chaotic. I've got one in the works. I've got 2 in the works now, and three that need to be finished. Like quilt, you know, the sandwich and the quilting and everything. Okay, now this one I started March of last year. I think I was feeling particularly cold that month. That seems to be what I remember. Now this is done on a 32 count. Oh, what do you know? I've got the card here. This I came from Stash. That's how old it is. It comes with one of these. 28 even weave. MCG Textiles. In the color of mushroom. I think I just found this years and years and years ago at Hobby Lobby, because I seem to have picked up a few things from them way back in the day, like 30 years ago, back in the day. And this was just sitting in my stash, not doing anything for me, so I decided to put this on there. So far I've gotten. Now I do have her hand stitched 1/1. I like to go by, when I stitch, I like to go by landmarks, or landmarks, motifs. And so the first time I picked it up, I started a center start because I'm, you know, paranoid about not having enough fabric. Started in the center, which was the quilt. Actually, I think it's up here. And did all of this. And then the last time I picked her up, I was working on her blouse, and kind of filling in this edge of things here, running threads out and stuff. And that's another thing, is I stitch to run threads out. I prefer to stitch that way, because I don't know, in my head, threading and unthreading the same thread on your needle wears the thread out. In my head, I don't know if it's true, but that just seems to be how it works. So I like to run the thread out. That one's gonna, all of these, let's see, the dragon, that there is gonna be for my husband. He is my dragon fiend. Everything else is for me, because I think they're pretty, and my husband tolerates pretty. Now, I apologize for the noise. My next one is this magic needle kit. Try to get clear. Not good. It's really pretty and delicate. It's called Winter Fancy. Found this on Amazon. I think it only works like 2 or 3 days. Maybe it was a little bit longer than that. And yes, I keep my needles in my projects, but it's always in the margins. I got started in the center again because I'm a little paranoid about getting spacing right. That's that little flower in the middle. And I'm enjoying working with these threads. It does come with a kit. I don't know what the threads are made of, but they feel so soft. And they glide. I mean, they just glide through the fabric. It's like butter. It's lovely. And they split them up according to number on these cards. And you don't stitch by color name or anything like that. You stitch by number on the chart, on the grid. So this one I'll pick up probably in winter again. I gotta mess with you, you're too loud. Okay. This is my next to last WIP. Next one I've got is the Spring Fairy Dimensions Gold Collection. Claire. I hope you can see that. I've already got the Fall Fairy done. I finished that one. I think I completely finished it in March. March sounds right. But she is 25% done, since their charts are like worked up in 4s. She's 25% done. The blends aren't horrendous. They're still there, but they're horrendous. Or not horrendous. The 3 and 4 strands, those are bad. Not a fan. But I appreciate the texture that it gives. Put this thing on here. Stop crouching. Okay, so that is my dimensions. Okay, and the last thing WIP I have is a little itty bitty, it's called Black and White Sea. Excuse me, I found this on Etsy, and there's this particular seller, can't remember where, but I've got a couple of other charts, I think, from the same individual. But it's just a narrow monochromatic strip. And I got that because I have some of that bell pull fabric, and I thought I need something narrow to do on that. And I also thought I have all this thread left over from a quilt, from the actual quilting process. I have all of this thread. I'd like to use it. So I decided, I wonder if this would work. The colors are beautiful, but this stuff is so slippery. It's hard to keep it in the needle. And I'm stitching this 1/1. And I know on this fabric it's supposed to be 2. Yeah, 2/2. So it's tiny, tiny stitches with a really slippery thread. Cool, but tricky. Okay, that's all my WIPs. Yeah, that's all my WIPs. Excuse me, can I get a sip of my coffee? Okay. Now, I have here, so that I think I counted them, it's 11 projects. Not all of these have fabric, most of them do. So let's see, first one, this one I'm going to start on the spring solstice. Yes. No, this is that. My bad. Put this over here. Pretend that didn't happen. Sorry. Projects I have kitted up and ready to go. Don't need a bag for you anymore. I'm going to say I told you. Lavender and Lace, Fairy Godmother, Fairy Grandmother, sorry. I am a grandma. There's 5 of the kiddos there. I'm going to, I've got all, just going to do it in the called for. Everything's in the called for. And just about everything I do is in DMC because I'm cheap. But I do have the Mill Hill beads and the Krynic, the actual Krynic. But I'm going to stitch this on a 32 count Lugana in the color Angel Song. And this is from the Etsy shop called Needlework with Jim. I just think it's beautiful and it'll work with this. I'm not 100% sure I want to stitch the trees in that background. Not sure I want to do that. Makes it kind of dark. And I'm not the kind to hang out in the woods in the fall because it's cold and damp. And I don't like cold and damp. I am a electric blanket kind of girl. That one, like to start, don't know when, have no real plans. Not for that one yet. Hold please. Sorry, dog's protecting me. Probably a cat walked by. This one I do have plans to start. This one will be started on the 20th of this month. And this is the Lavender and Lace Angel of Spring. And this one is another fabric I got from Hand Dyes by Jim, or Needlework by Jim. His Etsy shop, the invoices come Needlework with Jim, but on his stickers it says Hand Dyes by Jim. Same guy. But I'm going to put the Angel of Spring on this lovely, lovely piece, and it's in the color Romance, 32 count. And I understand why people buy fabric without projects in mind, because you can matching colors is kind of iffy. I got really lucky. This one goes with the threads for color matching. Okay. Now all of my seasonal Lavender and Lace angels will be started and worked on this year. Complete plans on that. I have the this is the Angel of Winter Isn't she pretty? And for some reason, I think I'm changing her. No, it's a different one. But I'm going to do her on this printed what are you, 32 count? 32 count even weave from Fabric Flare. It's called Creationist Green. Just a really nice night sky type of look. And in the same bag, although my Teresa Wentzler, we're going to get started this year too, is I'm going to do the winter carousel horse. Have not bought the fabric for this one yet, so I haven't decided what I want to do with that. I might look for a light mauve, because this one calls for beads. Yeah, beads, and one of the beads is a mauve. And is it you? No. It's a dark mauve. I've got the beads here somewhere. They had to have ended up with something else. But as soon as I find the fabric, I will let you know. Back with you. Okay. This was the one I was going to change. This is the, Lavender and Lace Angel of Hope. Now I have to do her because I found a frame. I'm going to do her, but her blue sash, I've got a color conversion to teals. And I'm going to put her on this vintage red label says VL. I'm not sure what that means, but it is a vintage red. 32 count Laguna. Sorry. She will fit on here, but it might be a little tight. But I just think the teal's leaning a little green would be absolutely beautiful on this. And this fabric actually goes with, she's got some flowers down here at the bottom of her skirt. It's not showing you very well, and I do apologize. But they do go with the colors in those flowers. This fabric came from Garibaldi's Needleworks. They are not on Etsy. It's Garibaldi's Needleworks.com. And I believe they dye as you order, because there was a delay. So it was a custom dye type situation. This one, I am so excited. I'm going to start it this year. It's another Lavender and Lace. It's the Angel of Autumn. pretty with those colors. And I've got the Mill Hill, and I've got the who's it? The watercolors. Karen watercolors. What it calls for, and these two colors here. But I just thought I've had these patterns for a while, and I just saw this. Isn't that pretty? This fabric, this came out, it's another hand dyes by Jim, or I said it earlier. It's another one of his, but this came out at during Halloween, and it's called Bewitched. Isn't that gorgeous? And then to put these watercolors on there, I mean, look at those. Oh, so excited. And this one's going to be started probably in November. This is my year of starts. Not all of these here, but I'm starting, I think I told a friend of mine 11 projects this year. And so far I have started one. Oh, I'm not starting 11 projects this year. Nine projects this year. So it's one a month. Another Heaven and Earth design, or not Heaven and Earth, Lavender and Lace. And I need to get project bags made because her beads and stuff are not going to fit in that. But this is the Angel of Summer. Okay. And it looks like I need to find her beads. But I found this beautiful linen. It's called Silver Mist Sparkle, 32 count. Tag does not say who dyed this. But I found this, walked into, oh, no. It is kind of a bluish green. This side over here, where it's kind of in shadow, is pretty close to what it looks like in real life. It is an opalescent, hand dyed. You can feel that. Found this at a local needlework shop. Just a little small place in the suburbs of Omaha. Super, super nice woman. This one will be started, let's see, summer, May, June, July? I want to say July. And this is the my last planned start for this year. I don't like to plan too much because how I feel about something may change. I will plan to start it, but how much I get done on it will depend on how I'm feeling it. Like that, the fall carousel, I only got 1 page done. Sorry, sounds like we may have long guys. I only got 1 page done before I was just ready to put it up. While the spring carousel horse, I'm on page 3 because I'm just having so much fun with it. But I don't need that anymore. Last Teresa Wentzler is the fall carousel. Isn't he pretty? And I'm going to do him on this 32 count linen. Fabric name is V, I guess Violet Overcast. And it's just this really pretty light violet lavender color. And I matched up, I looked at the floss and sorry about that. I did a floss drop on this, and this fabric is like 1 shade lighter than the it fits within a color family. Don't ask me color numbers. There's a few that I can remember off the top of my head, but it's just going to look absolutely beautiful on that. So there's that. Okay, those are my plan starts. What other toys do I have? Well, this is a project I've had the pattern for a year now. And I've had the pattern and the threads. Can't see because of the glare. But these threads, these are Dying for Cross Stitch, So Long Shadow, and Forbes. I've been wanting to do something in this variegation. I just think that is just absolutely beautiful. And I found this pattern. It's by Selenmar X Stitch, Selenmar X Stitch, on Etsy. Doesn't have a name. It's just embroidery pattern number S24. It is a sampler, but I have a thing for butterflies, so I got it. And what my plan is everything except for the butterflies will be done in the Forbes. Forbes. And the butterflies will be stitched in the So Long Shadow. And that is going to be done on this really big, I mean, it is big. It's a yard. Actually, no, it's more than that. It's a Soigart Lugana 25 count, 39 by 55. So it's big. I'm not unfolding it. It says color number 5045. I'm sure there's a name to it. Oh, that's for the floss. But it's this like dark lavender. It is so pretty. And I think that this sampler works up close to that size. This is big, even though it doesn't look like it should be. This is a one-day start. Probably after I finish my Florida Lynn, just so that I've only got one. I'll put that thing going at a time. Take it too long. Okay. This I have no plans to start, just because I'm kind of waiting and hoping that my stepdaughter will be able to have children. It's just been a struggle. But it's a lavender and lace, number 14, Sweet Dreams. Clear. I just think that's just so precious. And for now, I have it on another stash piece of MCG Textiles 28 count even weave. It's just a white. It's just in white. But either whoever comes first. I've got two granddaughters. And I've got my stepdaughter. One of them's going to get this. Oh, I've got two other plant starts that are over here. I purchased this from Hands On Design when they first released it, and it was supposed to be, I think, a stitch along. I think. But I just saw the pattern, saw the colors, and I was like, I gotta have it. It's the Huga Holiday. It's all the sweet little reminders of what makes winter winter. The sweet little deer. I'm not going to do it in the called for flosses. It is going to be, I'm planning on the blue and brown colorway, because you can do it in, I've got it charted for red, the blues, winter forest, or classic holidays. Classic holidays, they're red green. I'm going to do it in this on a scrap piece of 25 count, but the floss I'm going to use is my leftover DMCs, or not DMCs, my Dimensions flosses. Since I've got 4 kits that I could pull leftover floss from, I should be able to get this project out of my scrap thread. And I'm just waiting to get maybe like 1 or 2 more colors, which might have to wait until I've got fall. All this came from fall. I think the winter fairy, which is coming up, will have the rest of the colors that I might need for this. So that one is possibly a next year. I don't know. I've got the Christmas Parade from Cottage Garden Samplers. He's just too stinking cute. Marching through the forest with his little animal buddies. Look at that. They're all wearing hats. And I'm going to do this on a 28 count linen in a mystery gray. I've had this apparently for the last 24 years. Hasn't even been out of the package. Just mystery gray. From the stitching station. I don't know if they're still there or not. Because I haven't lived in Utah for, what is it, 14 years now? So. Plans start for next year will be, I really like the really small monthly projects that the monthly Quakers were. And I just saw the monthly mini village set. And I just thought those were just too sweet. And they work up small. January and February. I'm getting these as they're being released. March. April. Focus. And May. I'm going to collect all these, and I'm going to I think I've got some scrap fabric I'll be able to put them on, because again, they're not big. They work up really small. Then I'll figure out the floss I want to use. I don't know if I want to do the classic Colorworks. Because, you know, that's economy. Or just go with the DMCs, or even just finish going through my Dimensions scraps and using it on those. Because again, not big. I will continue collecting those. This is a planned start for summer, so she's going to be on a summer solstice. So that's next month. That's in June. We're going to be halfway through the year already. Can't believe it. But I'm going to start her. Trying to get, anyway. Plastic packaging. What can you do? But I'm going to start her with all her kit materials. And this is not designated as a winter fairy, but I think she's close enough. This is the Woodland Enchantress by Dimensions Gold. This one's not, yeah. They're both Dimensions Gold. You see a reflection of her reflection. There we go. She's pretty. And I just see her as throwing the snow behind her or all around her as she's walking through the forest. So she's my winter angel. She'll get started on the winter solstice. Okay. Now that pumpkin I showed you, I need to get 2 more pieces of that same green. because my husband would really like that one. Okay, maybe the pumpkins are for him. And that one. Both by Maxim Design. She's got a whole series of pumpkins, and they're beautiful. I think she's got some other gourds. If you don't want the orange pumpkins, she's got a whole bunch that are in the blue. She does a whole series of stuff. They're just absolutely beautiful. But yeah, I just need to get the fabric for that. Fairly recent acquisition is Winter Rose from Lavender and Lace. I think she's just so sweet. Don't have fabric for her yet. And I'm really kind of glad she doesn't ask for any beads. I have Angel of Christmas I want to do. Got her. Oh, she'd fit. And I have Guardian Angel. I think she's just absolutely beautiful. Here, turn around backwards. You are Angel of Freedom. There. And Ice Angel. Two layers of plastic aren't making it easy. Oh, there we go. There we go. And I might change the color of her sash as well. Although the blue does knit. I think I just might put her on a darker fabric and lighten the blue in her sash. Just thought. But that's the rest of my lavender lace. I've only got 2 more projects. I've got this Erin Elizabeth Designs, the Stitchy Tier. I need to find fabric for. This way. There we go. And that's going to get hung up somewhere in this corner. If I get it done before we move. That one. And last. Seriously, I have something in my eye. I have, this is a free download from, I believe I got off of Hirschner's website. It's the Halloween Fairy. And I'm thinking, I ordered this for something else and it didn't quite look. From Garibaldi's Needleworks. It's called Avocado Light. 32 count Lagana. Words. It's nice. It's kind of avocado. Like the inside of the avocado. I think it'd be interesting on that. Maybe. I don't know. I have some ornaments I'm thinking I might make. I don't know. Or, I bet she won't fit on this. 15 by 19. Nope. Not going to fit on that. Shame. That's a good piece of your linen. Oh well. That's all I've got. Future projects. Projects I plan to want. I don't like the word plan because then I'm stuck. But it's things I want to start. And who knows, I may get a bug to start the Halloween fairy. I mean, she's been kind of back there tickling in my head, saying, you want to start me. So, I might, maybe, I don't know. That's all I've got. We're at just over an hour. Basically just how I stitch. I bobbinate, run a thread through until it's done. I started working my master set, and with the frequency that I pull out that dragon, it was getting to be a real pain to unkit it and rekit it every month. And so I've got these here all full of bobbins for my different projects. Now my lavender and lace angels, my seasonal angels, have their own box. My Teresa Wentzlers have their own box over there. My dragon takes up 2. I see you in my dreams. This was supposed to be my birthday start. I've got it kitted. I had it started. I started it on my birthday, and I had been working on it for a week, and I was just ripping through it. I was just having so much fun. You know, it was like all those bright colors. My birthday's in February, so you get, the dreary. It was like, oh, I want spring to start. I want happy colors. I was getting started on that, whipping through it. And I got about the equivalent of a page in, but I was doing it in rows of 70. And I was stair-stepping. And I got to the 4th stair step, and I'm like, my fabric's not wide enough. Weeks worth of work on my birthday start broke my heart. I wanted to throw the fabric away, but that's a lot of good fabric. And so I See You in My Dreams by Genovia Art will be a restart on my birthday next year. So in February I will be starting that, and I've got myself a yard of fabric. So I'm gonna have enough. That I just need to get cut to size and get it put onto scroll rods, because it's a big project. I don't want to keep folding it up and trying to shove it into a project bag. I just would rather it stay out, or I can roll it up and there won't be any folds or creases in the fabric. I know a lot of people it doesn't bother them. Me, it kind of does, because as I'm stitching on it, I'm having to deal with a crease. And it may not happen this way, it may not even matter, but in my head, that messes with the tension. So I've got to make my head happy. And I know it may not be rational, because the dimensions, ladies, lay flat perfectly, and the stitches look okay once you get her matted, but it bugs me. And if it bugs me, I can't stop thinking about it. So I will stop thinking about things. Okay, well, that is all I have. I appreciate your time. thank you for joining me. I know this has been long, it's over an hour, but I do sincerely appreciate it. I have watched Flosstubes for the last year and a half, and I enjoy watching everybody's content, even if they're not projects that I would stitch, that I would find enjoyment in. It's the joy and the happiness that you all bring to your craft, that you enjoy what you're doing, and it shows in the care of the work that you do, your stitching, the fabrics you choose, your patterns, even though you may say they're an impulse buy, you do take care, and it's a beautiful thing. I'm not going to do WIP parades on a regular basis, maybe once a year, and that's only because I have to stitch until that particular project has run its course in my head. I can't just put it down and pick up something else for a couple of days and then go back to it. I've tried that. My brain rebels. So I have to work on something until it runs its course, or until I hit, like on the carousel horse I'm working on now, I have a set. Saturday is the last day because I want to get a full week in on my husband's dragon. I have to work a week on it, or I'm never going to finish this. And as it stands right now, this is a 10-year project. So I have to dedicate at least a week a month to this thing. Hopefully in that week I could get a page done, and it's a page a month. It's kind of been working okay, but I'm getting to the parts where I haven't already filled in portions, like the next row of pages, it's completely blank. It's all on me. I haven't pre-stitched anything. So I need to get it into a for sure routine with that thing to get it done. Hopefully 10 years before hopefully not 10 years after my husband dies. Because, he's in his 60s, and if it takes me 10 years, he's 70. Life expectancy is only in the 80s, 90s, maybe. I don't know. I know the man wants to live forever. I want him to live forever, but realistically. So no, there's not going to be a monthly recap, because it's going to be like 5 minutes. Hey, I worked on this, and this is how far I got. So there's not going to be any of that. Not even 6 months, because that's only going to be 6, maybe 7 projects that you see. That's not, for the effort it takes to do this, not the recording, but for the recording. It for me, it's just like, I'd rather have it once a year. I'm going to be a once a year person. Get it done. Now, I was thinking that maybe I do some stitch with me's. They're going to be random. I know some Stitch With Me creators like one project for their Stitch With Me's. Again, the way my brain works, once I pick up a project, I have to work on it until my brain runs out of steam. And so that is literally me sitting for hours every day on a stitch. And I can't record that much. I don't want to subject you to that much. So it may be, you'll see 1 week, one project, or for a couple weeks, you'll see the same project, and then switch over to something else. I do not enjoy the thought of a new start on film, because starting a new paint project for me is painful, getting into the rhythm of the personality of that new pattern. It's painful for me. And the constant stopping new thread and everything. I'd rather get like the first couple 300 in and then like, okay, I've got enough hanging threads. I've got enough parked threads that now I can go. And that would be a lot more enjoyable for me. Let me know. I know it doesn't seem like it, but I'm not really a talker. You can ask my husband. So a stitch with me is not going to be sharing life updates, because my life updates would consist of, well, I walked the dog today and I did dishes and I'm stitching, because I am not going to share my family's business. I'm not going to give updates about my grandchildren. They exist. They're beautiful people. But their life is their own. And I'm not going to share that. The rest of my family, again, their lives are their own. My husband's life is his own. So this is just me. And I don't have a lot going on in my life. My life is not that complicated. I've been blessed with a husband that makes my life very simple. We're comfortable. We're not well off. I'm in a little 1,200 foot apartment. I'm crammed literally into a corner. And my couch is right there. So, I'm comfortable. And he makes my life simple. And so that doesn't give me much to talk about. And I'm okay with that. So any stitches, that very wordy way of saying stitches with me will have music overlay of some kind. I haven't quite figured out the direction I want that music to go. I'm kind of thinking jazzy, something a little bit more upbeat, but not the crazy improvisational, bet I didn't even say that right, jazz. Still want it to be calming enough that you stitch and have this going on in the background, but it's not classical music. I appreciate classical music. It's great. But I don't want it, different music. I might switch it up. We'll have to see. But again, I'm going to say thank you for your time. I really do appreciate your attention. Thank you for giving me a chance. And I'm grateful there's a platform that we can share. And I will see you in one of my Stitch With Me's. Maybe. One day. Maybe soon. Maybe not. But we'll see. Take care. Love each other. Love your family. Love what you stitch. Stitch what you love. And this world will be a beautiful place.